This is not a drill. Pierre has just dropped a bombshell so devastating, so scandalous and so music horrifying, it sent shock waves through every corner of Hollywood. What started as quiet whispers behind closed doors has erupted into a full-blown celebrity meltdown. Music, and now there's no going back. The acclaimed British actor, known for his calm demeanor, private lifestyle and powerful on-screen performances, has done the unthinkable. Music, he's gone public. Public with a secret that was allegedly buried for years. And the name at the center of it all, Teyana Taylor. Yes, that Teyana Taylor. The multi-hyphenate star, singer, actress, director, fashion icon who's always been painted as strong, unapologetic and untouchable music, is now at the center of one of the most explosive health scandals ever to hit the entertainment industry. In a now-deleted post that insiders scrambled to screenshot, didn't hold back. The language chilling, the tone devastated, the accusations life-altering. Pierre has allegedly claimed that during the peak of his romantic involvement with Teyana, she knowingly exposed him to a life-threatening illness, HIV. And now, with cryptic Instagram captions, leaked text messages, and insiders allegedly confirming disturbing behavior behind the scenes, the internet has erupted in complete and total chaos. But here's the part no one saw coming. Because according to sources close to both parties, this wasn't a random hookup. This wasn't a fling. What and Teyana shared was deep, messy, and entangled with other dangerous secrets. And what if I told you this is just the beginning, because what's about to unfold next will make your jaw drop. Trust me, you're going to want to hear every word. This story isn't just shocking, it's terrifying. And before this ends, someone's entire career might be over. Music, to understand the full horror of what's unfolding between Pierre and Teyana Taylor right now, we have to go back. Because this wasn't a quick fling, one-time hookup or some accidental entanglement. This was a slow-burning behind-the-scenes romance cloaked in secrecy, denial, and now betrayal that could alter lives permanently. This was something that grew in the shadows of fame, music, and now under the glaring spotlight of the internet, it's collapsing in real time. Pierre, best known for his brilliant performances in roles that demand quiet intensity, has always kept a low profile off-camera. He's the kind of actor who never chases tabloids, never sparks scandals, and rarely posts anything personal on social media. He built a reputation as the reserved, grounded one in a business known for chaos. But behind that calm exterior, something was festering, because according to close insiders, was keeping a secret relationship with Teyana Taylor that most fans never saw coming. Teyana, of course, is no stranger to attention. She's bold, she's fierce, and she's been center stage ever since she was a teenager. From her unforgettable debut on MTV's My Super Sweet 16 to her massive career as a singer, choreographer, and creative director, Teyana has always projected control, music power, confidence. But behind that curtain of confidence, it seems there was another version of Teyana. A version that allegedly blurred boundaries, manipulated intimacy, and if Aaron's claims are to be believed, withheld life-altering truths. Sources say the two first crossed paths in 2021 during a secret casting process for a film that was never publicly announced. According to a now-deleted Reddit post from someone claiming to be a PA on that project, Aaron and Teyana clicked immediately. They were inseparable, music on set, shared trailers, shared after-hours conversations, and eventually shared hotel rooms. But here's the thing nobody knew. Teyana was still publicly married to NBA star Am Shumpert at the time. Or so we thought. The public saw red carpet photos, couple TikToks, and curated interviews that made everything seem perfect. But insiders now say Teyana and a man were living separate lives behind closed doors as early as 2020. So while fans were praising their number black love image, music, Teyana was allegedly involved in something far more complicated. Aaron, on the other hand, was said to be naive but Alan. He was in love, claimed a supposed makeup artist on the set. He thought it was real. He thought she was leaving her husband. He trusted her. That trust, according to recent bombshells, was horrifically music misplaced. Because here's where things take a dark turn. In 2022, Aaron disappeared from the public eye for nearly 8 months. No projects, no public appearances, no interviews. At the time, fans speculated he was preparing for a major film role or taking a private hiatus for mental health. But new insider messages leaking from alleged close friends suggest something else entirely. Aaron had just received a devastating diagnosis, one that, if true, changes everything. According to these messages, Aaron learned that he was HIV positive. And allegedly, the first name that came to mind wasn't random. It wasn't a guess. It was Teyana. Why? Because she was, according to sources, the only person he had been intimate with for over a year. Now stop and think about that. Imagine the weight, the betrayal, the spiral. Insiders claim Aaron confronted Teyana privately in a heated phone call, one that reportedly ended with her gaslighting him, denying music any responsibility, and allegedly threatening legal action if he ever mentioned her name publicly. The details of that conversation have not been officially music confirmed, but a chilling voice memo has surfaced on a private Discord server claiming to be from that exact call. In it, a male voice says, "You didn't tell me, Teyana. You let me fall for you. You knew, and you said nothing." And the female voice, cold, calculated, allegedly replying, "Watch your mouth. If you say my name, you'll regret it." If these clips are real and people are scrambling to verify them, it would be the biggest scandal Teyana has ever faced. Bigger than any breakup, any industry beef, any fashion controversy. This isn't about fame or headlines. This is about health, intentional exposure, and an allegation that could bring down everything she's built. But here's where the plot thickens. Because Teyana wasn't the only one keeping secrets, social media detectives have been combing through her old interviews and photos, music pointing out strange gaps, medical rumors, and one particularly alarming quote from a 2019 podcast where she allegedly said, "I've been through a lot with my health, things that would break most people." At the time, fans thought she was referring to stress or touring exhaustion. But now, people are revisiting that clip with fresh eyes and fresh suspicions. On top of that, several insiders from her past teams, tour managers, PR handlers, and even a former stylist are suddenly speaking out anonymously. One went on record under the pseudonym Sasha and claimed, "There were things we weren't allowed to talk about. Medical forms that had to be shredded. Extra NDAs." It was always a red flag, but no one dared question her. She ran everything like a machine. And that machine, according to some, included erasing proof, erasing anything that might ever come back to haunt her. Yet somehow it's coming back anyway. Music, because Aaron Pierre, whether intentionally or out of pain, has ignited a fire that cannot be controlled. His decision to go public, whether through cryptic posts, leaks, or emotional breakdowns, isn't just a call out. It's a detonation. And Hollywood, it's watching, waiting, terrified of what he might say next. Because this isn't just messy, it's dangerous. And if you think you've heard the worst of it already, oh no, what's coming next makes all of this look tame. And the most chilling music part, people who have seen the leaked voice notes are saying Aaron's tone doesn't sound like a man seeking attention. It sounds like a man who's hurt, angry, and done protecting people who never protected him. Tonight, you are about to hear the story that Hollywood insiders swear could end multiple careers. You are about to hear the version of events that Teyana's team is allegedly begging platforms to silence. You are about to hear why Aaron's friends say this wasn't an expose, this was revenge. Music, and when you hear the final twist, the twist even we weren't prepared for, you'll understand why everyone is saying the same thing. If Aaron's telling the truth, Teyana Taylor's entire empire is done. Buckle up because this is just the beginning. Before the scandal spiraled into the biggest wildfire Hollywood has seen all year, before Aaron Pierre became the unexpected center of a medical and emotional explosion, there was a story quiet, hidden, music, and carefully massaged by PR teams about how these two even crossed paths music in the first place. Because the truth is, this drama did not appear out of nowhere. It was a storm waiting for the perfect moment to break. And the moment it did, it tore through everything these two built. Careers, reputations, friendships, and even the illusion that Hollywood relationships are clean music or simple. Nothing about their connection was simple. Nothing about their timeline was innocent, and nothing about their past explains the chaos happening right now, except music, everything about their past. Let's rewind. Long before his name was tied to the scandal, Aaron Pierre was that rising star everyone quietly admired. Music, he was talented, disciplined, soft-spoken but intense. A man who walked into a room and immediately gave casting directors the sense he was meant to play bigger roles than he was being offered. Music. Hollywood loves a pretty face, but what they love even more is someone who looks like they're hiding pain, mystery, music, and a story the world hasn't heard yet. Erin had all of that without even trying. Meanwhile, Taya Taylor was at the height of her creative power. A multi-hyphenate, a perfectionist, a woman who built a reputation on being unshakable, unstoppable, and untouchable. She was the one people whispered about, but whispered with admiration. She held authority in every room she walked into. She was the one who turned setbacks into gold. The one who turned bad press into a comeback moment. The one who always seemed to stay 10 steps ahead of her enemies. So when their paths crossed, the energy was immediate. Behind the scenes, people said Teyana saw something in Erin, something raw, something new, something she could shape or protect or maybe even control depending on who you ask. Some insiders claimed she took him under her wing. Others swore the chemistry was way more personal than professional, but either way, the connection was undeniable. They were seen together at industry dinners. They were spotted backstage at events. They exchanged cryptic social media interactions that fans brushed off at the time, but now read like warning signs. And as their closeness grew, so did the questions. Why was Teyana married publicly, rumored to be separated privately, spending so much alone time with Erin? Why was Erin suddenly showing up in rooms typically reserved for longtime insiders? Why did people on set notice how quickly he reacted to her moods, her comfort, her presence? Something was brewing and everyone felt it, even if they didn't know exactly what it was. And then came the whispers. Those whispers that tend to circulate around late-night industry gatherings. Those off-the-record conversations that people music pretend aren't happening but absolutely are, whispers that Teyana and Erin had some sort of understanding, maybe even some kind of unspoken emotional entanglement that neither of them addressed publicly but both of them lived privately. But the real pressure started when people began asking music. The one question nobody wanted to answer: what was Teyana offering Erin? And what was Erin giving her in return? Some claimed mentorship, some claimed emotional attachment. A few insiders, the bolder ones, hinted that the relationship blurred lines that should have remained sharp. And others, now coming forward after Erin's bombshell, say the warning signs were there from day one. Because, according to sources, Erin started acting differently around the time he began spending more music time with Teyana. He became guarded, tense, short-tempered with his closest friends. He pulled away from people who once knew everything about him. It was as if he was carrying a secret too heavy to balance with the rest of his life. Meanwhile, Teyana Music was dealing with her own challenges. Quiet separation rumors, career shifts, private struggles masked by public perfection. She had always projected strength, but behind closed doors, the pressure was real. And people are now asking whether that pressure contributed to decisions that spiraled into the chaos we're seeing today. Because if you listen to people close to both sides, they'll tell you the same thing. This wasn't a random fallout. This wasn't an impulsive accusation. This was a slow-burning fuse that had been lit long ago. One that finally reached the end and blew open a truth neither side was ready to face publicly. But here's where it gets even darker. Behind that professional respect, that rumored closeness, that strange tension, there were moments. Little things, stories that never made headlines but now feel suspiciously important. A late-night studio visit that lasted way longer than anyone expected. A private hotel meeting that insiders say was absolutely not business-related. A phone call Erin reportedly ended abruptly when a friend walked in the room. A heated argument between Teyana and someone on her team over a misunderstanding involving Erin. These were the puzzle pieces nobody connected until now. These were the scenes that only make sense after the bombshell Erin dropped. Because whatever their relationship truly was, professional, emotional, intimate, music complicated, it created a foundation fragile enough that one accusation, one betrayal, one leak could destroy everything. And that music moment, the moment everything snapped, is where this story truly begins to unravel. Because what happened next didn't just expose tension between two celebrities. It exposed secrets nobody thought would ever leave the shadows. It exposed messages nobody thought would be revealed. It exposed a truth that Aaron now claims Teyana hid from him. And the way he found out is worse than anyone imagined. Everything shifted on one night, one moment, one discovery that insiders, music, say broke Aaron Pierre mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Because up until then, whatever was happening between him and Teyana, Taylor was wrapped in secrecy, tension, and unspoken feelings. But it wasn't destructive. Not yet. Not until the night Aaron allegedly stumbled across something that changed the way he looked at her forever. It started quietly. Too quietly. Sources close to Aaron claimed he had been feeling off for weeks. Not sick enough to panic. Music. But not well enough to brush it off as exhaustion. He was tired in a way that didn't make sense. He was anxious without knowing why. And when his close friend pushed him to finally get checked, Aaron reportedly hesitated because he didn't want the answer to confirm the fear sitting in his chest. But he went anyway, alone. No team, no entourage, not even his music best friend. Just him sitting in a cold examination room, scrolling through his phone while his mind replayed every moment he'd shared with Teyana. The appointment was supposed to be routine. It became the beginning of the nightmare. Insiders claim the doctor who walked in wasn't smiling, wasn't casual, wasn't relaxed. He sat down, looked Aaron straight in the eyes, and delivered a sentence that sources say Aaron has replayed hundreds of times since. "Your test came back reactive." Aaron reportedly froze. His entire world slowed. His heart music dropped into his stomach. He didn't understand at first. Reactive to what? What did that even mean? But when the doctor clarified, when the words finally registered, the shock hit him like a physical blow. According to insiders, Aaron went silent for almost a full minute. No tears, no rage, just numbness so deep it scared the nurse in the room because all he could think about in that moment was Teyana. Not because they were married, not because they were publicly together, but because she was the only person who fit the timeline, the only connection that made sense based on the dates, the symptoms, the now clear puzzle pieces he had ignored for too long. But this is where things get messy. Music. When the rumors first began, people asked, were Aaron and Teyana actually involved like that? Or was it deeper but kept hidden? Music. And insiders are now claiming that yes, something did happen, something real, something messy, something that created emotional ties neither of them ever addressed. Because immediately after getting that medical news, Aaron didn't call family. He didn't call his close friends. He didn't even go home. He drove straight to the one place he felt had answers, Teyana Taylor's house. Reports say Aaron pulled up without warning, walked in through the side entrance, which insiders claim wasn't unusual for him at the time, and found Teyana in the middle of a heated phone call. When she saw him, she allegedly froze, hung up instantly, and asked him why he looked like he'd seen a ghost. And that's when everything exploded. Sources say Aaron didn't ease into the conversation. He didn't breathe. He didn't blink. He just blurted out the question that had been clawing at his insides. Why didn't you tell me? First, Teyana was confused, or at least pretended to be. She kept asking what he meant. She told him he was scaring her. She told him to sit down, but Aaron wasn't calming down. The betrayal he felt was boiling over. And according to someone who claims they heard the argument through the hallway, Aaron kept repeating, "You should have told me. You should have told me from the beginning." That's when insiders say Teyana's expression changed completely. Her tone shifted. Her eyes narrowed. She went from confused to defensive music in seconds. She reportedly told him he was jumping to conclusions, that he was making a mistake. They told him this conversation needed lawyers, not emotions, but Aaron refused to move. Somebody in the house allegedly recorded part of the argument music, and that clip is the leak insiders say triggered the entire storm. In the recording, Aaron's voice shakes as he says, "Music. You didn't tell me. You knew and you didn't tell me." You can then hear Teyana saying something low, almost music whispering. Then another voice cuts in loudly, "Stop recording." That leaked audio hit social media like a missile. People speculated immediately. Some blamed Teyana. Some accused Aaron of clout chasing. Some said the clip was edited. Others said they had been waiting for the day these two situationship blew up. But the truth, nobody was prepared for what came next. Because only a few hours after that clip circulated, An unverified screenshot leaked showing what appeared to be a text message from someone in Teyana's circle. A message saying, "He found out she's spiraling. If this gets out publicly, we're all finished." Fans attacked it instantly. Music, but insiders swear the message is real. And just as the internet began accusing Aaron of lying, just when people started calling him delusional, just when the narrative began turning against him, the first real twist hit. A private group chat surfaced. Screenshots allegedly from Teyana's own team where one member wrote, "We told her to be upfront with him. This was always going to blow back eventually." Another message said, "He wasn't supposed to find out like this." And the most damning one, "Damage control is impossible if he speaks." Nobody knows who leaked that chat. Nobody knows whether it was a team member, a friend, an enemy, or even someone trying to sabotage Teyana's entire operation. But one thing became clear. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a miscommunication. This wasn't a random collapse of friendship or trust. This was a cover-up, music a deliberate one. And now Aaron was done protecting everyone involved. But the twist you're about to hear next, the twist that turned this scandal from messy to catastrophic, that's the moment Hollywood insiders say made Teyana's team panic like never before. The moment those group chat screenshots surfaced, everything changed. The internet didn't just react, it erupted. There was no waiting period, no hesitation, no "let's hear both sides." Social media smelled blood and they pounced. Music. But while the public was spiraling into chaos, music, and then just as the internet was still choking on those revelations, another insider posted what would become the most viral upload of the week. A photo, a simple, grainy, slightly blurred image of Aaron and Teyana sitting together in a car. His head leaned toward hers, her hand touching his shoulder, both of them looking intimate, comfortable, close. The timestamp 3 weeks before Aaron got his test results. And that's when the narrative shifted again because people started asking if they were really this close, if they were spending this much time together, if they were having private moments nobody knew about. What else had been going on between them that the public never saw? Celebrities began subtly reacting. A famous R&B singer tweeted, "Hollywood is a cold place. Protect yourselves. Nobody is who they pretend to be." A reality star posted on Instagram, "Secrets always come out, even the ones you think are buried deep." Another music actor who once worked with Teyana commented under a blog knew something was off. Not surprised. And then came the one reaction everyone was waiting for. Aaron Pierre himself. A simple, chillingly calm post. There's more. He didn't elaborate. He didn't accuse. He didn't rant. He simply said 2 words that sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. Music, 2 words that made Hollywood PR team scramble. 2 words that suggested the story we've heard so far is only the surface because insiders say there is more. Much more. Something bigger, darker, more damaging than anything leaked so far. A revelation Teyana's music camp is desperately trying to bury. A revelation Aaron's friends say he's ready to drop at any moment. A revelation that could destroy reputations permanently. And that revelation is what you're about to hear next. The moment Aaron dropped those 2 haunting words, "There's more," the internet lost whatever grip it had left on sanity. What had started as a rumor then escalated into a bombshell now morphed into a cultural earthquake that nobody could escape from. You couldn't open TikTok without hearing someone dissecting the audio. You couldn't open Twitter without seeing 10 new theories every 30 seconds. Instagram story circles lit up as celebrities posted cryptic lines, praying their followers wouldn't connect the dots. Because now the scandal wasn't just between Aaron and Teyana. It had become a referendum on trust, betrayal, secrecy, and accountability in the entire entertainment industry. Music. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone took sides, and the more people talked, the uglier the division became. Fan camps emerged almost instantly. On one side were the people defending Aaron fiercely, reposting the voice note, slowing it down, enhancing the audio, lip-reading the leaked car photo like forensic analysts. These fans were relentless. They said things like, "He has no reason to lie. None. If this happened to you, you'd speak too. She played with the wrong man's life. This is deeper than a scandal. This is a crime." Some even launched a hashtag that trended for almost 8 hours straight. Number stand with Aaron, but the other side, oh, they fought back hard. Teyana's defenders insisted the leaks were edited. manipulated, taken out of context. Music, they argued Aaron was being dramatic, emotional, possibly confused. They insisted she would never do something like this. They flooded comment sections with messages like, "Y'all love tearing down black women for sport. There's two sides. Stop jumping to conclusions. This man is clout chasing for real. If she didn't announce it herself, it ain't true." Some even tried launching a counter hashtag number Protect Teyana, but it couldn't compete with the wildfire momentum Aaron's supporters' music had. And then the celebrity reaction started. Some were subtle, too subtle to be accidental. One actress who had once worked closely with Teyana tweeted, "Silence is loud. Accountability is louder." Another singer posted, "Protect your energy. Protect your body. People will lie to your face smiling." A well-known rapper wrote on his Instagram story, "Hollywood nasty. Y'all don't even know the half." But then came the reactions that truly shook people. A producer who had collaborated with Aaron commented under a blog post, "He tried music, keeping this quiet. They pushed him." A retired athlete said, "This ain't even surprising. The industry been covering stuff music like this for years." And the most viral reaction, a famous actress without naming names posted, "When you play with someone's health, you play with their life. That's not messy. That's evil." People instantly connected it to Aaron's situation. But the blow that sent Teyana's camp into absolute meltdown came from a source nobody expected. A respected Hollywood journalist, someone known for staying neutral, never choosing sides, tweeted, "If even half of the documents I've seen are real, this is bigger than people think." That tweet got 200,000 likes in under music an hour. Blogs plastered it everywhere. News outlets began circling the scandal like vultures eyeing their next headline. Now mainstream networks, CNN, TMZ, The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked were painting the story as a developing medical and legal crisis. Panelists debated it on morning shows. Radio hosts screamed about it on air. Podcast creators released emergency episodes titled, "Things Like the Dark Truth About Teyana and Aaron Full Breakdown. New Leak Changes Everything." Are we watching a cover-up unravel? But while fans were arguing, while celebrities were subtweeting, while journalists were hinting at unseen documents, something deeper was happening behind closed doors. Teyana's team was allegedly contacting PR firms, drafting a statement, music preparing legal threats, and trying to craft a narrative that would paint the entire situation as a miscommunication. But they hit an unexpected obstacle. Every PR team they approached refused to take the case. According to Lakes, one PR executive actually said, "There is no way to spin something like this. Music, not with the evidence floating around." Meanwhile, Aaron's camp remained silent. No interviews, no follow-up posts, no clarifications. Music, which only intensified the tension. Because when a person stays quiet after dropping a bomb, it means they're waiting for the right moment to drop an even bigger one. Blogs started writing headlines like, "What is Aaron hiding? What else does he know? The final leak could end careers." Fans begged him to tell the full truth. Others begged him to stop before things got worse. Some even speculated he was negotiating with lawyers behind the scenes for protection. And then music, an anonymous insider posted a message that sent chills down the internet's spine. "The real reveal hasn't dropped yet. The next leak will change everything." Nobody knew what that meant. Nobody knew when it would come. Nobody knew whose career was at stake. But one thing was clear. This story wasn't dying down. It wasn't stabilizing. It wasn't fading into background noise like normal scandals. It was escalating. And the next twist, according to insiders, is the one that could completely destroy someone's entire public image forever. Because what Aaron found next, what he allegedly uncovered, what insiders swear is sitting inside his phone right now, is darker than the voice note, worse than the group chat, more damning than the screenshots. It's something that makes everything so far look like child's play. And it's coming. Just when the music internet thought it had already seen the worst, just when every fan, every blogger, every celebrity commentator believed the story had reached its peak, Aaron Pierre revealed the one thing nobody, even his closest friends, expected him music to have. Evidence that didn't just implicate Teyana, it implicated her entire inner circle. Because according to insiders, while everyone was busy dissecting voice notes and group chats, Aaron had been doing something far more dangerous behind the scenes. He was going through her old messages, not hacked, not stolen. These were conversations he already had access to, conversations she had with him, around him and near him, never expecting her words to become weapons later. Insiders say that one particular voice memo, longer, clearer, far more incriminating, was saved in his phone months ago. At the time he didn't think much of it, but after the medical news, after the argument, after the threats, after the leaks, he listened again. And this time he heard everything. Sources claim the voice memo contained Teyana venting to someone about a mistake from her past. Something she said she regretted, something she tried to fix, something she hoped never resurfaced. But the most chilling line, "It's not like I could tell him. What was I supposed to say? That's not how this industry works." That sentence wasn't ambiguous. It wasn't vague. It wasn't misunderstood. It sounded like an admission, a confession, a direct acknowledgement that she hid something serious from someone who deserved to know. The internet didn't even have time to breathe before another leak dropped. One that changed the tone of the entire conversation. A 12-second clip allegedly recorded during a private meeting between Teyana and her team leaked to a major gossip page. In it, a voice that sounded exactly like hers said, "If he goes public, make sure he looks unstable. We have ways." The clip hit harder than anything before. This wasn't emotional. This wasn't messy. This wasn't personal. This was strategic. Cold, calculated. Fans instantly recognized what that meant. They weren't music just hiding the truth. They were planning to destroy him. But the twist wasn't the voice clip. The twist wasn't the memo. The twist wasn't the threats. The twist was what Aaron reportedly discovered next. Buried deep in his phone was a folder he didn't create. A folder synced from an old shared cloud connection. Music. He once had access to a folder containing documents, screenshots, medical notices, and internal team discussions that no outsider was ever meant to see. According to people who claim to have seen previews of the material, the folder contained a timeline of Teyana's medical situation, notes about risk management, and internal debate about who can and cannot know, a message from someone high-ranking in her camp music saying, "He's clean now. As long as nothing else happens, we're good." A list of individuals allegedly warned privately. A list of individuals allegedly not told Aaron's reaction to finding this folder. Pure devastation. Insiders say he spent an hour just staring at the documents. No tears, no panic, just music. A numbness so deep it frightened the friend who later found him. Because this wasn't just betrayal. This wasn't just deception. This wasn't just a personal violation. This was premeditated secrecy. A secret protected by a network of people. A secret maintained despite risk, music consequences, and morality. But here's the darkest part. The folder contained dates, music, and timestamps that aligned with the exact period he was closest to her. He wasn't an accident. He wasn't a misunderstanding. He wasn't a coincidence. He was a liability they hoped would never find out. And once that realization hit him, he changed. Insiders say Aaron stopped being emotional. He stopped being reactive. He stopped being afraid. He became calm, focused, music strategic because now he had more than a story, more than a rumor, more than a voice note. Now he had evidence. Evidence powerful enough to destroy reputations, dismantle careers, and trigger investigations. And the world felt the shift instantly. Every major gossip page went silent. PR firms stopped releasing statements. Celebrities stopped commenting. Even Teyana's defenders began retreating quietly because everyone knew. The next thing Aaron drops won't just go viral, it will end people. But just when his fans started begging him to release everything, just when the world was bracing for the final upload, just when the music tension reached its loudest, sharpest peak, Aaron posted one final message. "It's too big for social media." That single sentence sent the internet into chaos. What does that mean? Is he filing a lawsuit? Is he meeting with journalists? Is this becoming a documentary? Is law enforcement involved? Or worse, is he holding on to something so explosive, so irreversible, so career-destroying that dropping it online would cause a level of fallout he might not survive himself? Nobody knows. But insiders swear he's preparing something. Something heavy, something final. Something that will force Teyana and her entire team to face consequences they've avoided for years. And as the world waits, one question grows louder than all the others. If this is only the beginning, what on earth is coming next? And now, as this story hangs in the air like a storm waiting to break, as Aaron Pierre's final move looms over Hollywood like a shadow nobody can outrun, the only thing we know for sure is that this isn't over. Not even close. We're standing on the edge of something massive, something historic, something that could reshape how the entire entertainment industry handles secrecy, health, and accountability. But here's where you come in, because this conversation cannot end here. This is the moment where your voice matters just as much as the people at the center of the storm. This is where the comment section becomes the battlefield, the investigation room, the global debate that Teyana's team never wanted to happen. So let's talk about it. Do you believe Aaron Pierre is telling the truth? Do you think Teyana Taylor and her team hid something from him? Do you think this scandal is about to explode into lawsuits, criminal charges, music, or something even darker? Or do you think there's a twist coming that none of us see yet? Because remember, Aaron said the 4 words that shook the whole internet. It's too big for social media. What does that mean to you? Is he going to the courts? Is he signing with Netflix for a docuseries? Did a journalist step in? Or is he sitting on evidence so heavy the world isn't ready to hear it yet? I want you to drop your theories, your predictions, your questions, your anger, your shock, everything in the comments. This is your space to speak freely. Let me know. Fire who's right. Fire who's lying. Fire who's hiding what. Fire and what do you think the next bombshell is going to be? And if you want updates the second this story evolves, because trust me, it will evolve, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next piece of this unfolding, unbelievable saga. Because if everything we've seen so far is true, the next chapter is going to be the biggest explosion yet. Stay tuned, because this is only getting started.